together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Frickin' Fridays. Happy Friday. Man, it's been a busy day. I know I'm late. I got up. Yeah, dude, you're not going out right now. I have to leave after this. So you cannot go outside. You can when I come back. All right. Sorry, I had to talk to the cat. And yes, I do talk to my cats like that all the time. Yeah, meow. that little whitey bit. Meow. So desperate. Yeah, your cuteness is not going to get what you want, dude. Maybe I'll give you a little love. But yeah, today's the first day I've actually felt awake since I had my panic attack. Come here. You're whining and annoys me. Come here. I am Jack. I love it outside. And here comes Sawyer. Sawyer doesn't like it when I pet the other cats. He gets all jealous. So, and this isn't what he wanted, so he's not going to stay on my lap. But yeah, I intentionally slept in. And then I had a sponsee, and then I had another sponsee, and then somebody I was talking to in the field that I really enjoy talking to. We're going to try and do some things together. And now I'm here. I'm going to do this, and I got to go to Kaiser, pick up my meds. I got hurried back because I guess I'm hosting the meeting again tonight. So, but I like it when my days are like this because then I don't have time to think about stupid crap, man. So, all right, buddy. So, last Bronco preseason game today. I don't like wearing jerseys without a shirt underneath because it makes it look like I'm in a porno or something. But it's too hot. It's too hot to wear a shirt underneath this, but then it's going to get itchy. I don't think I'm going to last in this shirt. I'm going to need to change. All right. Happy Friday. So today's daily trudge is also the daily reflection. I found it to be a good topic. And essentially what we're talking about today is, you work on your past, you accept it, you work through it so that you can utilize it to help other people. That's what we're talking about today. Once you get through the program, it's about meeting other people where they're at almost always. So, yeah. It's gonna go. I might have a few guests coming up. I might be ramping up some of my podcasting. I got to practice because I've been asked to do somebody's podcast, and yeah. I'm also going to probably I'm working on trying to tell my story at some treatment centers around, like Parker Valley Hope and maybe the Foundry and stuff. Get out there a little bit more. But it's kind of funny. I was talking to somebody earlier that I had referred to a company. And I know the owner. I don't really know the recovery coaches. And they're like, how'd you find us? Well, my friend Dion sent me. I think I know that guy. Oh, they know who I am. Everybody knows me. Yeah. I've lived here a long time. I lived here since 1979. I've done a lot of things, so I have a lot of contacts, really, is what it comes. I'm 55. I should know that many people. All right. So let's do today's daily reflection, and then we'll get into the big book. No chat as of yet, at least none that I have seen. Feel free to say hello, unless you're driving or you don't want to. Then you don't have to. Lightening the burden. Showing others who suffer how we were given help is the very thing which makes life seem so worthwhile to us now. The dark past is ... The key to life and happiness for others. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 124. And we'll probably be doing some repeating on that when I go to the big book. But the reason the ... are in there is because there's more to this sentence. So we'll cover that. I want to cover the first part of this right now. Right? Helping others is what makes me feel useful in life. And I don't know about you. Well, I do. Alcoholics need to feel useful. Or this program just doesn't stick for it. We'll revert back. Because if we're not useful, then we're nothing. And that makes you a non-entity, and that's highly uncomfortable. All right? But that's the reason. It makes me feel useful. I enjoy it. I get a thrill out of watching other people reclaim their lives. You know, I was just talking. Her name is Megan. She works over at Sober Is. I don't mind saying her name because then you'll be like, what do? They do IOP, recovery coaching, that kind of stuff. So if you need some, you're in Colorado, let me know. Hook you up. All right. But where's I going with that? I don't remember. Huh. Oh, well. So Alcoholics Anonymous, page 124. Since I have been sober, I have been healed of many pains. Deceiving my partner, deserting my best friend, and spoiling my mother's hopes for my life. In each case, someone in the program told me of a similar problem, and I was able to share what happened to me. When my story was told, both of us got up with lighter hearts. I was working with somebody, and sometimes we're in a situation, maybe it's our children, we're not necessarily fighting or anything, but they don't really want to sit down and discuss all your problems with you. In this case, they're not required to say anything back. They can just listen. Okay. Maybe they don't want to talk about it. That's okay. Would you be willing to listen? I got to let you know. You have to know this stuff. Okay. I'm not telling you what to do. And no, it's about me. Okay. Because I don't want you to do what I did. I don't want you to repeat what I did. So it's important that I tell you. All right. Now we're making it non-evasive. But when we do that, what we're doing is we're giving them permission to heal, especially when it's like close to us, like our children or something. Then we're giving them permission to heal when we do that in front of them, which is exactly what we were just talking about. Give me a second. It might get a little loud because this cat won't shut up. I'll give him one more meow. Then I'm going to kick him out. Because it's hard to do when I got cat on me. Meow, meow, meow. He's got to learn that he isn't always going to get what he wants, right? Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host. Now, I don't know how much of the book in this part covers the actual topic, so we might be use some of the book, and then I'll probably do some freestyling. Freestyling. Yeah, because it's right here in the middle of the family afterwards. So we're just gonna we're going to read one paragraph and then we'll freestyle. This painful past may be of infinite value to other families still struggling with their problem. We think each family which has been relieved owes something to those who have not, and when the occasion requires, each member of it should be only too willing to bring former mistakes, no matter how grievous, out of their hiding places. Now, there's been times when my wife and I, maybe she's talking to somebody and she's like, well, this person needs help, Dion, are you willing to talk to them? And both of us will sit down with them because she's friends with them, so that helps with the comfort. But I'm not going to be the only one talking. It is often my wife joins in on those conversations so that she can give the other side. You know, when Dion was going through this, that's kind of how I felt about it. And it helps out a lot. Right? I'm watching one of my very good friends. I don't know if we're best friends or not. I'm watching her son help my grandson. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because he's willing to share that. Isn't that cool? Children following our example. It's so cool. I'm excited for them both. Right? Well, what is that? Well, that's a good set of parents. Not just the one, parents, both. Showing others who suffer how we are given help is the very thing that makes life seem so worthwhile to us now. I covered that. Cling to the thought that in God's hands, not in my hands, actually in mine too, because I'm a vessel. All right. That's the way Chekhov says it. Vessel. The guy that played Chekhov. Does anybody even remember that he died? Anyway, not the original Chekhov, the one of the newer Star Trek. It's not new. Anyway, doesn't matter. Right. Then God's hands, the past, the dark past, is the greatest possession you have. It is. I literally use my past all day long to help other people. Now, I would not be able to do that if I have not settled my past, because otherwise it's just going to come out angry. Right? Yeah, vessel. I like the part where he's making the announcement, but it won't work. You can't get it to work because it doesn't understand him. Hey, Deck, it's good to see you. All right? So it's the greatest possession that we have. The key to life and happiness for others. With it, you can avert death and misery for them. That feels like a lot, doesn't it? And you, if you're newer, you might even be thinking, even I still go through it. Me averting death for other people, I don't buy it. But it's true. It's hard to accept sometimes that we are those people. We're not bad people. We're not. We're actually pretty good people. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. All right. I heard screaming or I don't know what that was. It sounded like an animal outside screeching or something. I don't know. I couldn't find anything. So we're lightening the burden, and when we do that, we're not lightening our burden. We're lightening their burden, right? Because mine's already been lightened by my sponsor, by the people that came before me. They helped me work through those things, right? So now it's my turn, right? So, but we're going to have to be okay with this part of it. Sometimes it scares people so bad, or they disbelieve it so much that they just don't do the work because they don't want to do that. Okay. I get it. It's kind of tall order. It's a lot. Anyway, it is what Let's see. The point is not to glorify what happened in our past. That's not what we're doing. We're not going to sit around and tell horror stories about the good old days. Because I'll tell you what happens. Then everybody tries to out, oh, yeah, mine was worse. Oh, mine was worse. Okay. Being the best of the worst is not a brag. So you know. Right? But in the beginning, we alcoholics don't understand the difference between good attention and bad attention. There's just attention. That's all we know. All right. We start to learn these things. Right. Plus the other concept, which I doubt ChatGPT got to, which was you can, and when it comes to AA, the only way to keep your recovery is by giving it away. It's the only way you get to keep it. That is what I have found. Right? It's all about dividends and karma and what comes back. Okay? The simplest way for me to explain it, you ever watch the show My Name is Earl? A perfect example. Okay? Now, if you haven't seen it, there's a series of things that happen, but he wins the lottery. Of course, he loses the ticket, things like that, but it's got to be an adventure, right? I don't remember what happens, but he decides to make the decision that he makes the figures out that he's hurt a lot of people in his life. A lot of people in his life. So he makes a list of all these people, and the whole show is about him making amends. And of course, they get ridiculous. But the theme of the show is this. You do bad things, and bad things happen. When you do good things happen. There we go. Yeah. So it's about making these things right. And I always use my past. That's because I've settled it. And the more I settle, the more I get to utilize. All right. That's why my anxiety and my PTSD are also part of my superpowers to help people. Wow. Hey, Jason, good to see you. He says, I used to have Jason Lee skateboard back in the 90s. Who's Jason Lee? I'm sorry, I don't know. Was he a big skateboarder? I don't know. Please let me know, and then I'll probably be able to fill in the blank. That's cool. My skateboarding days ended at about, 16, 17. So, but that was my mode of transportation. I used to do half pikes and all that. Now, I don't know that I could stand on one. Oh, Earl, hello. Yes, he was a huge skate. He was like, that's what he did before. And I knew that too. Thank you. We got to laugh at ourselves. I mean, come on. Got to laugh at that. All right. So the part of the story you once wanted to hide, maybe the exact part somebody else needs to hear. Maybe it might save their life. Are you willing to talk about it if it's going to save somebody's life? If the answer is no right now, that's okay. Do not feel bad. Just work on the steps. Go do that 4th and 5th. And then you won't feel that way anymore. I didn't. I do not carry around shame and blame, guilt. I don't do that. I don't need to anymore. Now, does that mean that everybody in my life that's ever done me wrong has come and apologized? No. But I don't need to live there. All right. Now, I will admit, I carry around a little bit of regret. When it comes to my children, yes, I do. I was an absentee father, man. I will admit it. I'm not anymore. Okay. I no longer feel like I owe. Felt that way for years. Well, I owe. Maybe some particular parts I might feel like I owe. But why do I do that? It keeps me motivated to become a better person. Right? because I want my kids to outdo me. And they all have it. They are all perfectly capable of outdoing me. So I'm going to set the bar very high. Right? They're all givers. All my children are. And in this family, we love our animals. You do not fuck with our kitty cats. Oh man, you all have the Miller load after you, man. You don't want that. I'm just one of 5. Okay. I go my grassroots group. I'll tell on you. And they'll say, what was your part, Dion? Right? So we used to think the past just kind of disappeared, right? Alcohol was great for that. It helped. It helped me forget the past so much that now, like a year ago, I remembered that I was sexually assaulted. I mean, that's how bad it gets. Because I've been tapping that down for so long. I forgot. I forgot what happened. We forget what we did, who we hurt, the humiliation and the consequences. Oh, man, that was so easy to forget. Hi, Amber. Hi, Isaac. What's up, little man? I was just talking about you. Were your ears burning? So we used to think all that disappeared, right? So I would get, let's say I was, here's a perfect example. It was weird. I woke up on a Saturday morning and we were going into work that day. I worked for merchant services. We had some stuff we were going to do. And my gut kept saying, don't go to work. Don't go to work. And on the way home, we got pulled over. Now, I was not driving, but I did have a warrant out for my arrest. Okay. Now, I'm going to let you know something. The person that was driving, okay, she was my roommate. She was in trouble for child support. But thankfully, I was the higher risk, so they took me. I'm actually kind of grateful that they did that, right? So I go to jail, right? Computers go down. I just sleep. Right? Everybody else was pissed. People like, it was funny. I remember one guy, hey, man, we need to, can we hurry this up? I'm like, dude, you're here for like 2 years. Okay. What's the rush? Shut up. Okay. Let me fucking sleep. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm hungover. I need a beer. All right. So I get out. Monday comes. I forgot. What did it take? Alcohol. In fact, since I had slept, I was up all night. I didn't really have any alcohol. So when 6 a.m. came, I went to 7-Eleven, got me some 3-2. I peed a lot that day. A lot. All right. And I remember it because 3-2 never gave me blackouts. All right. Okay, so we forget. But page 124 says future happiness is not based simply on forgetting the past. Instead, experience becomes value when we learn how to use it constructively. We're making a deal here. Alarissa, we're making a deal here. Right? See, happiness is a byproduct. It's a dividend. Happiness is not a base emotion. It happens from something else. Love. All right, we have love and fear at the very bottom. All other emotions come from these. Okay. Now, this is opinion only. I'm not some psychiatrist, psychologist saying, I'm a drug and alcohol counselor. Probably didn't know that. I'm a QBHA. I'm a recovery coach, peer support specialist. I'm going to tell you, I don't fucking care, and neither does anybody else. Right? I'm just saying I got a few more skills. I got some skills going on. But my dark past is an asset. It is no longer an embarrassment for me. And it saves other people's lives. I'll say it again. When I heal in front of other people and I talk about it, I give permission to other people to heal. That's what happened to me. My sponsor had what I wanted. Same thing. I did what he did, and guess what? I got the same result he got. Kind of cool. All right. And I still contact him. When I have a birthday, I still contact, say, I got 10 years. I got this is what's going on. All right. Because that's the cool part about being a sponsor, hearing from your sponsees that you worked with 10 years ago, still contacting you. That's the joy. Right. And I'm eternally grateful for him. Because I was sitting in meetings for 2 years looking for a sponsor. I was waiting for somebody to come up and say, Dion, I'll be your sponsor, because that's the way I thought it still worked, but it hadn't. And he was the one that came up. That's what I was grateful for. Somebody cared enough to come to approach me and say, Dion, I'm going to help you. Why did it take 2 years? Why? Now you know why I get passionate and vehement, man. Anyway, that's kind of. So the big book says our past can become one of our greatest possessions when it is placed in God's hand and used to help others. Okay. So think about what that means. The jails and the divorce, the relapses, the homelessness, broken relationships, the shame, the fear, the failure. Well, that becomes, I've been there too. And I would agree with my friend. She doesn't show up here, so I'm not saying that. Me too is some of the, or was it you, Amber, that said that? Or was it our friend? Me too is some of the most powerful words in AA. And it's true. Hashtag me too. We've been there. Because what alcohol does to us is it makes us think that we're the only people in the entire world going through this. That's what alcohol does to us. And we think that we're terminally unique. Well, when you're terminally unique, there's no hope. And if there's no hope, well, then what's left? Death. Right? So we've been there before. Sometimes those 4 words reach somebody better than anything else that we could say. All right. So I was talking about this just a minute ago, but when we identify what fades, isolation starts to fade. Right? That loneliness that few people understand. That's what I loved about AA. I went in. All I need to do is say I'm lonely, and you totally understand. I got so tired of repeating myself. Well, why do you feel lonely? How is it? Tell them, oh, okay, well, I don't quite understand. Fuck you. You just made me feel more lonely. You just separated me more. I need to be around people that think like me so that they can call me out, so that we can enjoy because sometimes I make a joke and other people don't understand because they're not an alcoholic. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's kind of funny. But in the AA room, man, you guys will be laughing for 5 minutes. Those are my people. You talk like I do. From the first meeting I went to, I went with my mom at 13. She had just sobered up. And I was curious. Right? I ended up going to Alateen because I was more appropriate. But the first couple of times I went to AA meetings, I understood everything they were saying. I felt like I belonged, even at 13. That's why I liked it, because I was no longer alone. Even at 13, I didn't have many friends growing up. It wasn't until I started drinking that people really started surrounding me. I think that was more out of fear than anything. Right? So one alcoholic hearing another person share something similar experience, and both people walk away feeling lighter. Right? It brings hope. We are hope dealers. Right? That's what identification can do. Someone thinks nobody has ever done what I've done. Then another person says, well, I've done that. And suddenly that shame loses some of its power. Wait a minute. Maybe I could talk about that too. All right. All right. I got to start wrapping this up, and I'm only halfway through what it gave me. So we're gonna kind of go, right? So the big book does not tell us to pretend that mistakes were good. It says we face them, rectify them, and turn the experience into something useful. All right. Okay. Now, what's cool is our story can become somebody else's evidence, right? So a person who's still drinking may not believe that recovery is possible, right? Now, you folks with 30, 60, 90 days, you carry more hope than me. You do. I have 10 years. Now, when you first got into the program, let's say you came to Grassroots and Dion was celebrating his 10 years. You'd be like, bullshit, whatever. That guy's lying. You guys can't say he's lying, even though I'm not, or whatever. Okay. But if somebody's celebrating 30 days, well, that's a lot smaller, is it not? How'd you get 30 days? Well, I did this, this, and this. You're actually be able to help them a little bit more than I could in the very beginning because you're closer to them. 30 days they can do. 6 months they can do. 10 years, you're a fucking liar. Okay? So you carry more hope. At least it's identified that way. All right? Cool shit, man. Stuff. Lois says, thank you, Dion, for what you do. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are more than welcome. Right? Because like I drank like that. They thought like I thought. They lost what I lost. They feel the same shame. And even though those are bad emotions, understanding I'm not the only one means that there's hope. It means that there's something that I might be able to do. So we spent years thinking, if people knew my whole story, they would not. If you actually got to know me, how many times did you say that? If you really knew me, you wouldn't say that about me. And you weren't far off, were you? But that's not true anymore. It's not true anymore. We don't have to do that. All right. So if people knew my whole story, that they'd think less of me. But what you found out, you told your story and people had respect. What? When a newcomer comes in, respect. You show them respect because they are not getting it out there. But we understand something. We understand how much fucking courage it takes to walk into your first AA meeting, raise your hand trembling, not because you're detoxing, because you're scared out of your fucking mind. You raise your hand, you say, I'm Dion, I'm an alcoholic, this is my first time here. Automatic respect. Automatic. Do it. It'll change everything. Give them respect. They deserve it. Don't determine their willingness. They take everything that I just said. Aren't they willing? Doesn't that action show they are willing already? Well, let's make that enough. That's enough. I don't need more proof than that to know you're willing. All right? Because when we run around saying this person isn't willing, that person isn't willing, right? In the beginning, without knowing anything, all right? If you have a sponsee that's no-showed, no-called on you 3-4 times, I don't think we're talking about willingness anymore. We're just talking about not wanting to do the work, right? So don't do that. Listen to your intuition. Sometimes you are going to hear somebody talking and your gut's going to go, we need to talk to this person. We need to talk to this person. You listen to it. I don't care how much time you have. You listen to that. That is God talking to you. That is your intuition telling you to do something. You listen to it. It's going to happen to you. You stick around long enough. All right. Maybe somebody needs to hear my whole story so they can believe there is hope for them too. All right. So in closing, our dark past does not have to remain evidence of who we are. If we can do the fourth and fifth step, work on some things, put it in God's hands or a higher power, whatever works for you, then it becomes evidence for somebody else that recovery is possible. And you're not just bringing them hope. What about their mother and their father, their significant other, the children, the grandchildren, the cousins, the best friends, the teachers, the nurses, the doctors? You're giving all them hope too. Because this is a family disease. A family disease, alcoholism. So you're bringing hope to people that you don't even know. And that's the best of the best, man. I love it. All right. I got to run to Kaiser, go pick up my meds. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And keep on